12 here, year 2. Mr. Graham wants to know how many shoes he has. Now we know that when we go to the shops and buy shoes, we get a pair of shoes. And a pair of shoes equals how many? A pair of shoes is 2. You get 2 shoes, don't you? One for your left foot, one for your right foot. It'd be silly just to get 1 shoe, wouldn't it? Then you'd be walking around with 1 shoe that has a shoe, 1 foot that has no shoe. So we need to work out here how many individual shoes does Mr. Graham have. But I'll give you a hint. We know that each pair of shoes equals to 2. What we can do is we can do a thing called repeated addition, which is very similar to what we did in term 1, which is all about counting in 2s. Let's have a go. Let's start down here. So we can say that we have Mr. Graham has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and the last one, 12. So how many shoes does Mr. Graham have here? How many individual shoes does he have? That's right, he has 12 individual shoes. Let's go and work that out again. This time we'll use another method. So what I've done here is I've taken a picture of the shoes that I own, and that picture was from the video. What we're going to do here is we're going to work at representing these shoes in the 3 different ways of multiplication. Now there are 3 different ways that you need to understand in order for you to understand multiplication. Now, the first one that we're going to do together is we're going to be doing groups. Okay, that's one way that you can represent multiplication. So the way that works is we can circle each of the groups of shoes. So the group in this case is a pair because the shoes aren't individual, shoes come in pairs. So let's circle all of the groups of shoes. Okay, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we just done there is we've circled the 6 groups. So I'll write here groups. So we have 6 groups. Now who can tell me how many are in each group? How many shoes are in each group? There are 2. Now with multiplication we use a special symbol. We use this symbol that looks like this, and it's a cross. Okay? And what that means is we're saying there are 6 groups, and how many are in each group? There are 2 in each group. So that cross means all it's saying is how many are in each group? So we've got 6 groups and there are 2 in each group. Let's go ahead and solve it then. So we can say there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So what's the answer then to that question? With groups, we have 6 groups. There are 2 shoes in each group. So how many shoes are there in total? How many shoes are there in total there? That's right, there are 12. Okay? Now, that cross, don't let it scare you, okay? All that cross means is it's saying how many are in each group. So all you've got to work out is how many groups there are, and in this case there are 6, and then you've got to work out how many are in each group. Now it's not always going to be 2, there might be 5, there might even be 10. Now on the bottom of the screen here, I've given it another title, and that's called repeated addition. Now what that means is we're simply adding on each of the groups. Okay? So this time, how many are there in each group? There are 2 shoes in each group. So we can start up by saying 2 plus, and once we've done that 2, we'll just scratch it out. 2 plus 2, that's another group, that's another shoe, plus 2 plus 2, that's that one, plus 2, that one, plus 2, and that equals what? Let's simply count on in 2s what we've been doing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What we've done is we've just worked out that using repeated addition, so simply adding each of the groups together. So 1 group, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That gives us our answer here. And for our groups, we worked out that there were 6 groups, weren't there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there were 2 shoes in each group. That's why there's a cross there and the 2. And that equals 12. And we'll notice that this answer here is the same as this answer here. We've got one more way that we can show multiplication. Now, the last way that we can represent multiplication is through an array. Now, I've just taken another photo of the shoes and I've lined them up in an array. Now, what an array means, it means that there are equal groups. So we here can have 2 arrays. We can draw a line down the middle here and we now have 2 arrays, don't we? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 shoes on one at the top side. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 shoes at the bottom there as well. It's important when you draw an array that it has to be even on both sides. We can't draw a line that's not even because that won't be an array. Okay, I just taken another photo then of the shoes. This time I've rearranged them. I would like to see if we can come up with a different way of showing an array in this photo. How can we evenly distribute the shoes? We can see there that they're all in an even line, aren't they? And each line has 4 shoes in it. And each row has 3 down the bottom. Okay, let's draw a line to see how we can break up these shoes. If I did a line down the middle like this and this, are they even groups? Absolutely they are even groups because we have at the top here, we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. What happens if I was to draw a line now down the middle like this? Is that now an even array? Absolutely, because we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down one side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down the other side. I would like you to pause the movie now and see if you can see any other ways that you can see an array. Off you go. Go and try that for me now, please.
Brown's hungry again. Look, he's opened another packet of those yummy biscuits. Now, he wants to know how many biscuits are in the packet. So what he's done is, he's made even groups here. And what he's wanted to know is, how many altogether are there in the packet? So let's work out how many are in each group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in each group, there are 5 shapes. So remember in term 1, where we did counting in 5s, I think we'll be able to easily do this. Remember, we're using repeated addition here. So we're finding the total of one group, which is 5. And let's repeat that for how many groups we have. So we have 5, 10, count on as we go, 15, 20. So how many shapes are there then in that packet? How many yummy biscuits are there? Absolutely, there are 20 shapes, biscuits in that packet. Well done.
Okay, so similar to how we solved the thong problem, we're going to solve this problem using arrays, repeated addition, and groups. Let's firstly solve it using our groups. Okay, so I've just given the title there called groups. Now the first thing we need to do is work out how many groups do we have. So we have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. So we have 4 groups, don't we? Now how many are in each group? So I'll put 4 down here. Now remember we use that times, and that magic symbol tells us we need to work out how many are in each group, don't we? So how many individual little crackers are there in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we only need to count one group because we know that all groups are the same, don't we? So there are 5 crackers in each group. So what that's telling us now, that equation, is telling us we have 4 groups. This number here is telling us how many groups. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And this magic X is telling us how many are in each group. And there are 5 in each group, aren't there? We're not plussing those two numbers together. We're what we're calling multiplying them. So let's work it out. Let's simply count in 5s and let's work it out. Because we know there are 5 in each group. 5, 10, 15, 20. So how many are there altogether? There are 20. And we work that out through using grouping. Now on the bottom of the screen, I've given another title, and it's called repeated addition. Our job now is to find out how many times do we need to add that number together. So how many are in each group? How many are there in each little package? There are 5, aren't there? So we can put 5 plus, and we'll write that out, plus another 5, that one there. We'll plus another 5, which can be this one here. And we'll plus another 5, which can be this one here. And that simply equals 5, 10, 15, 20. 20. And we should be pretty familiar with that because we've done a lot of work with our counting in 5s as well. We've got one more way that we can represent multiplication, and that is through arrays. Okay, so on the screen here, we can see that Mr. Graham has had a go at making an array there. Now, how do we know that is an array? How do we know that that's an array? We know it's an array because there are even numbers on all sides. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So even though some of those biscuits are a little bit cut up, there are still 5 biscuits in each row, and therefore that it makes an array. I would like you to see if you can cut this array in half. Remember, it's got to be evenly cut in half. So if there were 20 in total, what's a good way that we can cut that array in half? Could I put a line down here? No, because what I've done is I've actually cut one of those biscuits in half. So I can't have put a line down there, can I? So where then could I put that line? Where's a good spot for me to put that line? Right down the middle. And you can actually break that grouping up into half. Now, the first thing we did was we did groupings. And we did 4 groups, didn't we? And how many were in each group? There were 5 in each group, weren't there? So, I would like you now, just with your finger on the screen, just trace around one group that has 5 shapes in it. Just trace around one group that has 5 shapes in it. Okay. Did you trace around this one here? Because that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 5 shapes in it, doesn't it? If we did this one here, we could put that as another one as well. Because that's got 5 in it. And then we could have put this as another one. And then finally, our last one at the bottom has another one there. Now we know that this is an array, don't we? Because there are equal numbers in each line and there are equal numbers in each column going downwards. So it's not all scattered around, it's a perfect array. And we know that because there are 5 in each group and we have 4 groups, don't we? 1 group, 2 group, 3 group, 4 group. Okay, your job now is to go and do the activities which are found at the bottom of this video. And that is going to tell you ways that you can represent multiplication using adding on addition. Off you go.